The thing about drawings is there's inherently a disconnection that means I can't properly express to you how bizarre these guys are. So let me just show you. Yeah. So what exactly is their deal? Why do they have a head spoon? Well, to be frank, nobody knows. But there are some big theories. First theory is that it helps with feeding. The head spoon, or as scientists call them, broad labial phalanges, may be helpful for eating. They eat primarily small invertebrates, so their big things could be useful to keep the insects in their mouth, like a mouth blockade? I don't know. That theory doesn't really hold so much weight in my opinion, but you know what does? The theory that it helps with acoustics. Males have different calls from females. Similarly, they have differently shaped head spoons. The male ones usually point upwards. The female ones point down. Males are usually the ones doing the calling for girls. So it makes sense that their spoon has a broader, cone that the sound travels through. Females are selective with their call, so for their spoon to point downwards and limit its reach also makes sense. I like this theory a lot more than the other one. It just makes more sense to me, but that's not the last one. This next theory kind of sucks, I'll admit it. The idea is head spoons are used for sexual selection. The bigger or more peculiarly shaped a male's head spoon is, the more likely they are to mate. Now, maybe this is a small part of it, but there is no way that this theory is actual. Sexual selection only works when the females don't also share the same trait. Duck-billed frog males and females both possess spoons. If it was about sexual selection, then there's no reason for the girls to have retained them in their gene pool. I mean, just look at all the other species with sexual selection. The dimorphism is really obvious. For duck-billed frogs, the only sexual dimorphism is the size difference, the angle of the head spoons, and a slight difference in coloration. So, no, it's not sexual selection. Get out of here. Other than that, I'm not really sure what they could use it for. I mean, theoretically, it could be something really specific to their native environment, but what is their environment? Well, lowland deciduous forests, high humidity, and hot summers in Mexico. They don't dig, unlike their other name, shovel-nosed frog, would suggest. I don't see how a nose spoon would really help here. What else? Well, they breed by temporary puddles formed from rainfall. So, they don't really need help as far as oxygen is concerned since they're so shallow. And no, it's not a territory thing. Some folks suggest that it could be that bigger spooned males get the territory, or like some beetles, maybe they fight with their spoons. No, nothing suggests they're territorial in the wild at all. So, I'm stumped. I really don't know. But I'm leaning a little more towards it helps with their call acoustics. That's the only current theory that holds any weight to me. What do you think? You got any ideas? Let me know. Welcome to Herp Corner, the series where we talk about the more freaky reptiles and amphibians. I'm your host for today, Power, and today we're going to be talking about the duck-billed frog. That's not their only name though. They're also called the shovel-headed tree frogs, cask-headed tree frogs, spiny-head tree frogs, and in Spanish, Rana-de cabeza de pala, and their scientific name is Triprion spatulus. The specific epithet spatulus directly translates to spoon because of their, Triprion might come from the Greek tri, meaning three, and prion, referring to a cutting edge. It could be interpreted as three cutting edges, but that's just my guess. I'm not actually sure if that was intended. Rana-de cabeza de pala literally translates to shovel-headed tree frog in Spanish. In other news, duck-billed frogs are native to the Pacific lowlands of western Mexico, and they're doing great! IUCN lists them as least concern, despite their threats. It's mostly climate change stuff. Altered rain patterns, forest fires, and overall inconsistencies of weather just kind of freak them out. But all in all, they're doing totally fine, so it's no sweat. Breeding behavior is a big ol' part of Triprion spatulatus' life cycle, tightly linked to the rainy season. Temporary streams and ponds become breeding grounds where males with distinctive vocal sacs call out to attract females. Their call is described by some folks as a quack, so not exactly dissuading the duck allegations. What precedes is typical frog mating stuff. The males are smaller than the females, so they get on top and release a bunch of their seed everywhere, which eventually makes it to the female's reproductive stuff. Okay, besides that, they're actually isn't a whole lot we know about this animal. Like, that's basically it. Even though they're least concern and allegedly very common in the wild, we have no clue anymore about them. I just told you literally everything humans know about duck-billed frogs. So, any folks living in southwest Mexico, you know what to do. But that's gonna be it for me for today. New videos every other week. Thank you for watching. If you know any reptiles or amphibians we should cover, let me know in the comments. Alright, goodbye.